Hey, so this is my recent stuff on BitChute about the Anunnaki, about artificial birthing, Dolores Cannon, and Linda, and the Pope, and Nazism. But I want to talk about Laura Eisenhower. Just off the top of my head, I had she is a special girl, and she's got a lot of problems with people coming after her. So she's got an interview on BitChute that I'll link to this. But she kind of began by saying, and I knew this already, that she had been recruited to go to Mars just as a casual, and she said no. So it's dawning on me, I was never recruited to go to Mars. Like, no way. The line was right there. In fact, just because of who I am, I want to explain something to you. I was the guy with another guy named Pete Murray who put together the database for the Future Concepts Working Group. I had to learn how to use Microsoft Access, and Pete was my database guy doing the more advanced connection things, but I had a pretty good logical mind about putting things together. So the officer staff of the Future Concepts Working Group was joint. So you had a Navy sub guy named Todd, who's had family issues, and he was all really smart guys. Bruce Reeder was a 160 guy. He was like the OIC. Scott Moore was the Air Force guy. He was wonderful. Nordy Schwartz and another 06 would come in and chat it up with him and do recommended reading, and there was some senior guidance going on because Schwartz was illuminated. I was told he knew where he was going way the hell before anybody knew anything. Like the Air Force guy Holland came down, Schwartz already knew where he was going, and he's still floating around here. Go find him. Angels are extraterrestrial, many are human. You got liaison going on. So some people are going to Mars, I guess. And one of the Navy, a Navy man, was on the Future Concepts Working Group. He was an 04. He was really smart. And he had been selected to go to Mars someday as an astronaut. So whatever the program, he had put his name in, and he was hot to trot. Kind of had that cooking. But all these guys were so great in the process of putting this all together, and the deliberation between the Army and the Air Force, watching the services. Another guy named Ed Dillenschneider, SF guy, reservist, came in. He was one of these coming in to do his 30 days, and they'd throw stuff at him, and I'm telling you, it was a very creative environment. And then a guy named Jim Smith comes in, kind of attached, but not really a part of the group. Long story short, he's from the Bronx. He mentions the name of a woman it took 2 minutes for this conversation. I call my mother. She knows the woman. We're like familial tie. Jim Smith. I told my mother, hey, I met a guy here named Jim Smith. Oh, Jimmy Smith. I wonder if he knows, Dicey Riley, whatever her name was. And I'll be damned. He goes, give me the phone. At any rate, I want to get back on the topic of Mars. I was never recruited to go to Mars. I would say the guy that I'm speaking of was not recruited in that light. He was on the NASA, hey, let's go see what's there. I would put Bill Shepard in that category of brilliant. The guy could build the space shuttle. He liked to drink. He was the science advisor for Ussocom. He was a Navy SEAL and an astronaut, and he was in the ISS. And he's a Navy Academy graduate, so that ain't no Colorado 420 nothing, and I knew him personally. He was interested in avatars on a personal, shoot the shit level about the future. Like they're there and we ought to be there. Somehow he was around that mindset. And here's a guy who's like, I'm telling you, he was in outer space. I never spoke to him about extraterrestrials or Mars programs or nothing. This guy was in with the cosmonauts, and he was an American who was there to be their friend and know where his flag was planted. Yeah, I know Bill Shepard, and I know Terry Silva. Terry wasn't on the Future Concepts Working Group, but he knew the Admiral Olson very well. Admiral Olson carried Terry Silva as the from the Naval Academy graduation. So they all knew each other. But now that I know what I know, we're going to find out who really knew about stuff going on there. And the people that got severely twisted from the Special Forces community or multiple services, going transgender, several. One is my brother forever, the being, David/Diane. Judge and jury in your favor, man. They got you, and you went, and you did what you needed to do. And then there was another SEAL who transitioned right there at Ussocom, post 9/11. And it's amazing because those type people, one would think, would be given an opportunity to go to Mars on assignment. So I'm supposing that if you go to Leavenworth and you're selected as a Jedi warrior, once they fish you out, because they figure out where they want to put you. The guy's managing the checkerboard, like Joseph McMoneagle. He's my perfect example. I'm so glad that that man picked up the phone and I got to talk to him, because it just makes it special for me. He, the Army guy, into the Phoenix program, which was a phenomenal program. Phoenix. Phoenix rose up 1988 in the Economist magazine, clutching the dollars that they're going away. You got to get back to the clockwork of Wuhan to make that work. 10, 10, 19. 1 + 9 is 10. So we could get into numerics. And I could tell you the Q drop, 0000001. Hillary ain't going to be arrested. Woohoo! So Q lied right out of the box in a time warp. That QAnon people go, it's coming. Trust the plan. Trust Trump. I trust Trump. I do, because I know where he's going. Not specifically, but in general terms. It's the dark and the light. See, he'll be at the meeting on Mars. He's got to be aware of what's going on Mars. And he's got to make a decision. Donald has got to make a decision, because he's a senior player. And there's opportunity to join our collective. That's going to be an option from the Council of Planets. Anybody that shows up, come on over. Joseph Biden. Be like that part of the movie where people walk to the other side and go, oh, wait, you're not supposed to do that. And then everybody breaks ranks. That's what I'd like to see. I don't want to lose anybody, especially the ones that I've never met them. If you're fourth density aware, you're supposed to know that we got the Gumby option to be above everything, because we own it all. And I didn't know this until recently. And I never went to Mars, but I did meditate. And I know when I got in the mix, it made a difference. And I know that the success of Princess Diana's rescue had something to do with me taking the time to recon that planet, using space assets and looking at three-dimensional terrain and just imagining where the hell she would be, because it shows that I have concern. And the fact that Harry's coming with us, that was as much as anything. To be perfectly honest, because she made all the decisions she did to get where she was, and yet they weren't done with her. She was still alive, and we got her back. So whoever breached that, congratulations to them. And where she is right now, I have no knowledge, but clearly there's plenty of room on Mars, because these giants are heading up there on like the 22nd at the latest, if they decide that the answer is no. Because there'll be a suspense on it. There won't be one of these, we'll get back to you after the 24th. That'll be an indicator if they delay, because they know it's coming. I'm in the game. I hope you guys are in the game. Because we're being given the grid. There's divine grid programmers. See, they've been in control, being given to us in this lifetime. You've lived a lot of other ones. You're going to find out. So, it's easy if you make it easy inside. Yeshua ben Joseph led the way, and he leads today. So be a leader. You want to define a leader, don't you lead by example? The officer that takes his shit off, and the first name thing becomes sincerely obsolete in the bullshit of people in the neighborhood, but you're with them. So you're leading by example. That doesn't mean that if you're supposed to be doing toppity top stuff, you gotta do that. So it's a management issue. But troops know that. And if you keep them informed, then they like you, because they just want to know what's going on. Be like me. It's a little bit of that. That's what Yeshua said. Here's what I told you. Go do it now. Put your name on it. Say the things you need to say. Guard yourself. Use source. That was Pentecost. Whoop. The fishermen went out. But be like me. Leadership. Lead by example. And show concern for your people. When you get put in situations like we were put in overseas, that's a big challenge. If you have personal problems yourself. So plenty of officers that were going. You don't know what the factors are, but look what we've descended to morally as the norm. I hope if you're old enough you're tracking with me. So anyway, I'll keep this here and know we're going up. I was freewheeling this thing, and have intelligence, integrate your picture, put it all together, open your eyes and see the lies. It's an illusion. They really did Epstein Island. Hollywood did Epstein Island. Q said you wouldn't be able to handle it. Go in Gitmo. We'll take care of it at Gitmo. Gitmo. Hanoi Hilton. Upgraded. They let go the cohort of the guy we legitimately waterboarded to get people. So the entanglements are there to get done what they needed to get done. And they're imperfect, clearly. George H.W. Bush pulled his part off, though. I know where my vote is. No weapons anymore. You're done, you did it. Wherever the hell he is now. Probably Aldebaran. Because of the way he pulled it off. And did he ever lie? He said, read my lips. No need to access. And, look at his speeches like the New World Order. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then he gave the envelopes. Said, hey, everybody knows. And, I'm sorry. And Jeb went. And he pressed on. And Biden pressed on. And Jill Biden pressed on. So that's enough of that. Jill. Purple dress encouraging my Indians to vaccinate. Step down, doctor. All surgeons, in general. Pharmacy is sorcery. The guy who was studying under Nostradamus was Dionysius. And he linked up to get Nostradamus talking to Dolores Cannon. The Greek part. Working with Nostradamus. I'm just saying. We're gonna do it. One, like the rose, assumed by the Blessed Mother. Nostradamus also came up with some rose petals as a medicine. How did he know what he was doing? You just wonder. Once he got into learning, so at that point where you seek truth, you start to get it. 2017 for me. I hope today is for you if it wasn't already. Peace.